I don't hear anybody offering any help.
No.
Let's see how this goes. Which quarterback receiver, and I used the word wide receiver in the setup, but I should not have. It could be a tight end, it could be a running back, connected for the most touchdowns in a single postseason.
This is a hard one. Like, you just think of all the great runs that quarterbacks have had, and I'm not going to fall for that trap you just threw out there to get me to say some tight end or something. Nah, we're not doing that.
No, not Mahomes to Kelce, right?
No, I'm not. I don't trust that. I'm going to go with the suggestion.
Not Brady to Gronk.
Nope,
Okay.
not doing that.
Fair enough.
I'm going with the suggestion that Strager's made in the break. I'm going to go with Kurt Warner and Larry Fitz.
That's right.
Let's go!
That is correct.
Yes, Himbo, come get dunked on, Himbo.
I'm coming too. I'm coming too.
Alley-oop, alley-oop.
We might have literally injured Hembo here, and if so, I think it's one of the best days. That was the first Schrager bomb of the morning. Let's drop a few more, why don't we? That's next here on the program.
That was incredible.
Peter, we got the Eagles and the Rams getting set to go head-to-head this weekend. Drop a bomb on that game.
Like Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. Let's go here. Hembo just threw more paper at me.
Okay, go ahead.
The Eagles have played the Rams several times in the last few years, and the issue is this. The Rams don't beat the Eagles. The Rams could be the hottest team in all of football if they just hadn't played the Eagles twice. The Sunday night game last year where Saquon went for about 600 yards in L.A., and then the playoff game where the Rams came valiantly back but fell short. Other than that, the Rams have won every single game they have played, excluding for last year's Week 18. The Rams have gone 9-0 in their last 11 games that don't involve the Eagles. My point here is this. I think they've got a little vengeance to go for, and I think
the
they
Rams
might have.
do.
Yes, and they have a score to settle here. And that when you look in that building, there's a lot of pride there too. This isn't going to just be a walkover because it's at 1 p.m. I think the Rams are going to give the Eagles fits.
If the Rams walk out of that building with a win this weekend, all the conversation early, and look, it's such a week-to-week league, but all the conversation has been about the Packers, and then it becomes the Eagles and the tush push and all the rest of that, and maybe Detroit bouncing back in a big way. Should the Rams be in that conversation when we talk about the biggest of the big boys in the NFC?
Well, I think the Rams were always in it. I think what kind of knocked them out of it was Matthew Stafford's availability when we were talking about training camp and his back. But I think you've seen through these first 2 weeks, you see the way Matthew Stafford threw that ball last week? Some of these throws, I mean, you see these right there. I mean, that honey hole shot, the 7 routes that he's hitting off of play action, the no-look passes that he's hitting. I mean, throwing to his left, fading to his left. He's doing some things. I'm sitting there going, how is he still being able to throw the football like this from these different arm slots? He is as locked in as I've ever seen him. And I'm telling you, Devontae Adams, what he has added to that wide receiver core and their ability to be explosive down the field, that young defense. Hey, look, they were that far away. We all know it. We've talked about it on this show numerous times from knocking Philly off last year. This is a heavyweight battle here early on. The Rams are going to kind of announce, once again, don't forget about us.
That's why in the offseason, when we talk about what's the biggest offseason acquisition, George Pickens to Dallas is exciting as well. But Devontae to the Rams, when you heard Puka Nacua talking about, like, I get to sit there, listen to him, be on the field with him, my game improves, we improve. That's what we're expecting. This is a team that I almost picked to be in the Super Bowl. I was worried about Matthew Stafford's back. And now I'm wishing I hadn't because I literally think this team can win it all.
They've got the good defense, too. People don't associate them because those kids were so young last year. Yep. People will be reminded how good that defense is.
Yeah, and they talk, which I appreciate also. Watching that defense play is really impressive. But I think the point that we started with, Matthew Stafford has a highlight film worth of throws just in the first 2 games this year. Yeah. Like, if you put together his best throws, you might think that he was the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Some of those throws that he's making.
All right, next up, Schrager bomb comes from Minnesota. What's up with the Vikings?
I know everyone thought the sky was falling with J.J. McCarthy's injury news. I don't think the season is lost at all because J.J.'s down. He will come back. I also think Carson Wentz might be the perfect backup for J.J. McCarthy, and I think they could be just fine with Carson Wentz. My Schrager bomb is that the Vikings internally there, they feel very good right now. And Wentz had a really good few weeks leading up to this, and they feel really good handing the reins over to him. They play a fellow backup in Jake Browning this weekend. I think the Vikings are going to be okay and will hold serve while J.J. McCarthy is out.
So here's the thing. And look, we don't even know exactly what J.J. McCarthy is destined to be yet either. But a year ago when he got hurt and they turned, oh no, Sam Darnold, they're done, there would be nothing more unusual about Carson Wentz resurrecting himself playing for Kevin O'Connell than there was about Darnold a year ago.
Yeah, and I think that veteran quarterbacks probably are more comfortable in the system with KOC, too. I think that some of the things that you have to learn, because the answers are going to be there. That's the way that we feel about those offense. Being comfortable about finding those answers is something that you would trust a veteran more than you would a first or second year quarterback.
Yeah, I think, anybody who has played in that offense will tell you that that's the number one thing. You said the word answers, that this offense always does have answers. And I think for a guy like Carson Wentz, that's exactly what you want right now. Even though you are a veteran, you want to be able to go into a system and go, look, I don't have to go searching. I kind of know it's built in. That these guys have had a track record of developing guys like myself who are kind of like maybe some people think on the last legs of their career, and all of a sudden you have a resurgence. And look, I don't think we haven't heard the last of J.J. McCarthy. You're right. I know, like after week 1 in Q4, when in the fourth quarter against the Bears, we were like, there it is. And then last week we were like, no, it's not. Because we're like all over the place here. I think the story, there's a lot to be left.
All right, let me get to the last one here, because this is the one that we really want to focus in on a little bit. The Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2. Peter, talk to me.
0-2. They played 2 really good teams. They lost in Brazil to the Chargers, who have proven to be awesome. Of course, they lost to the Eagles in a heartbreaker. If they lose to the Giants on Sunday Night Football, it is officially panic time in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's why I said, coming sort of off of that note, that it feels like a must-win. Now, I think no one wants to say that because I think we all just think they're going to win.
Right, yeah.
Right? And the Giants had whatever it was that happened this week against Dallas was what it was. But the Chiefs, people want to say the dynasty is done. The concern about the Chiefs' offense. How concerned are we about the Chiefs?
I'm very concerned. I think you look at their star quarterback, and I think that he also is behaving in a way that suggests that he's really concerned. He seems frustrated, and he also seems to be doing the playoff version of Mahomes. He's trying to run people over. Like, this is week 2. He did it in both of the games where he just seems frustrated and unnecessary. Like, this is 1st and 10. There's no reason to do that.
Right.
Get down. Him behaving in this way suggests to me that he's angry, and he's expressing that anger by doing things that are putting his body at risk and showing the rest of his team, like, help me.
It looks like he doesn't trust. Well, it looks like he doesn't trust anybody to come to his aid. I mean, and we talk about all these quarterback injuries. You have Mahomes scrambling. You have his feet being their whole entire rushing offense. Like that to me is an issue, and it's just leaving him open to get hurt, which you just cannot have.
He's been their leading rusher in each of the first 2 games. Lewis, you put together some tape of the real problem KC is having.
Yeah, you're just seeing their passing game just not being able to click. They're just not on the same page all the time. In particular, let's take a look at couple of these clips from the red zone where you just see just how close they are, but so at the same time how far they are. Here he has Hollywood Brown here down at the bottom of the screen running really what you call a snag or a return route on the outside. Clean pocket, should come out on time. This should be an easy completion. And look at where the ball goes. I mean, that's just something you don't associate with Kansas City offense. Look at this one-on-one coverage here against Juju Smith-Schuster. He's trying to get the ball to him. He can't get off the line of scrimmage. The route just develops slow, so he knows then he has to buy time, and then he has to do Patrick Mahomes stuff. Then he has to try and figure out, well, okay, 1, I got to avoid the rush. 2, can I get my eyes downfield and find anybody? But, nobody's open, so guess what's going to happen? I'm going to take a sack. And then lastly, look, he's trying to go to his guy. This is the route I was talking about early on in our production meeting. He wants to hit Travis on this shallow cross, coming across the field. And look, Travis isn't really running the route really hard. Patrick's trying to lead him. And then you see Travis kind of like throw his hands up like, how did you miss me? And like, if I'm Mahomes, I'm going, why aren't you running? So it's this play after play after play. You see this kind of thing where every single play turns into schoolyard football, especially in the pass game. And guess what? Patrick doesn't have the luxury of going, you know what, take something off of me. I'm going to turn around and hand it to a back. Oh, that's right, we don't have any. I'm the leading rusher. There's a problem here.
Much of this was going on last year, and it was covered up by the fact that they just somehow kept winning. It was never clear how they kept winning. Their defense was ridiculous. Yeah. They had a million things go their way, breaks go their way, and they have Mahomes, and so they kept winning. But all of a sudden, those games, that ball bounces the other way on you twice, and it feels like there's some reason for some.
And 2 major things happened. The Rice suspension came right before the start of the season. That's your best wide receiver. He's not on the field. And then 3 plays into the season, they lose Xavier Worthy. I would also add this. The Chargers play the Broncos this week, and if they win, they will be 3-0 and beating all 3 teams in the AFC West, and they'll have the tiebreaker already over Kansas City. The Chargers are for real. Lewis and I had a chance to see them in person. Phenomenal call of the game. This is a dominant defense and an offense that hasn't even gotten going yet. So if you're Kansas City, it's different than other years where you can mess around and kind of figure it out. No, the Chargers are real and they are legit, and the Broncos aren't going anywhere either.
And this offseason in Kansas City, a lot of the talk was about how they got so embarrassed by the Eagles in the Super Bowl that they were coming back determined to be a different team. Like that was going to be the thing that turned things around, and so far it's been
not so good.
Ugly.
And do you know what today is? Today is Patrick Mahomes' 30th birthday. He turns 30 years old. He's been to the AFC Championship game every season that he's been the starter. And let me show you a couple of notes on Patrick Mahomes as he turns 30. Among all-time quarterbacks before turning the age of 30, he is first in passing touchdowns. He is first in win percentage, slightly ahead of Tom Brady. He is first in playoff wins. And he also has won 3 Super Bowls before turning 30 years old. Brady and Aikman were the other ones to do that. So Patrick Mahomes has put himself in the most rarefied of air. You didn't need me to tell you that. The reality is, when you're his level of player, you're going to have multiple eras, right? You're going to have this era, the Kelce and all that kind of thing. And then that's going to fade away, and there's going to be another one. He's got time for a whole other one. Brady had that. The question is, are we seeing that? Is there going to be a lull in the middle? Is this going to be the beginning of that lull?
You know, I think with this season in particular, okay, so we're talking about last year and then kind of like moving it into this year as far as that lull, especially when you're talking about the weapons that they don't have, that they had early on in his career, namely a guy like, Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman. I don't know. They're just not operating at full strength yet. So I think we need to see more evidence this year that lull has officially arrived.
All right, we'll keep a close eye on them as we go. They're 0-2. The Dolphins are also 0-2.